Being on council is an enormous privilege, and it can't be understated just how important it is, the work that we do on behalf of our community. The community, of course, has many perceptions about what council does and doesn't do and what it should and shouldn't do. And you will encounter that during your time as an elected member. There will be things that will test you, test your values, test your morals, test your thinking on many things, and it will be important that you approach that task at all times with an open mind, because this is a wonderful learning opportunity. You will learn things that you never imagined, and they will go on to be great skills for the rest of your life. But it is important that we always remember we are here to represent the people who elected us. They are the electors of the district. They are not only ratepayers, they are people who live here and who are not ratepayers but are on the roll of electors. Those who've chosen to make their home in our community, those who run businesses here, and indeed those who own properties here but don't live here but are on the owner-occupier's roll. All of those people have a stakeholding in this community, as indeed do visitors who come to our beautiful town every single day. And so we are the community leaders. You are all people who've been chosen by the community in this year's election for a variety of reasons. You may know some of those reasons, you may not. You may know some of the people who voted for you. I guarantee you won't know them all. There will just have been too many of them, but you will represent them all. And as your oath said, you will do that to the best of your judgment and your ability. And each of your judgments and abilities will be different. And you will meet and get to know your fellow councillors who will also have different judgments and abilities. But we need to come together and we need to work together to find the ability to make the best decisions in the best interests of our community. And that's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to be popular. And I think if we were all councillors maybe 40 or 50 years ago, life would have been different. No one would be calling you at 10 o'clock at night to complain about something. It would probably take a week or more for a letter to arrive at your designated address to tell you something important. You perhaps would be visible in the community, but not as communicatively available to people in the community as you are largely required to be these days. People are messaging you in many different ways, shapes and forms, and that becomes something that can intrude on your personal life, on your working life, because the demands of a councillor and indeed the demands of mayor are quite considerable today. This is a great organisation. In town of Victoria Park, it should not be thought of as a mere small to medium-sized local government. This is a large enterprise, and there are lots of different services that we provide, lots of programs, lots of activities, and lots of infrastructure that we manage. And you will all have an important hand in shaping exactly how we do that going forward. So I say this to you because this is a wonderful opportunity. There's lots about it that is exciting. There are lots of things that you will do that will be really joyful, but there will also be the things that will be tough at times. And so if we come together, remember that we can all get through those things collectively. And in this chamber, I've been really proud since 2019 when I first became mayor, that whilst we may have disagreed with each other, our disagreements in the chamber particularly are always agreeable. We're always able to say what it is that we want to say within the code of conduct and in the manner that our community expects. We all know that local government gets a bit of a bad rap from time to time, sometimes worse than others. Sometimes what happens in other local governments is something that people tend to ascribe to all local governments. But I can assure you that we have been able to have good, productive discussions over the course of each year that we work together in order to get those great outcomes. So this is a part of a tradition that our new elected members and indeed returning elected member Councillor Miles will become familiar with, or you will come to know. I encourage you to reach out to the members of council who have been doing this for longer than those of you who are new. We have plenty of wisdom to share and we are very willing to do that. It is interesting that when I started on this council in 2017 as a councillor, just as you have tonight, overnight at the election, this council went from 6 men and 3 women to 6 women and 3 men. And 2 years later, it became 6 women and 3 men. And 2 years later, it became 7 women and 2 men, and 2 years ago it went back to 5 women and 4 men. And I am pleased to say, because I am pretty pleased of the female representation on our council, that as a result of this year's election, we maintain a split that is as close to even as you can get in a 9-member council. We are 5 women and 4 men. And I think we'll come together and we'll bring our collective experiences and abilities and values together, and that will be pretty important. So I do want to say, please embrace the challenges. There will be plenty of them. Enjoy all the great opportunities that come along. This is something that you can do at the level that is available to you or that you want to do the role, but it is important that you participate in all the important decision making we do. And I do want to say something to those who have family and friends here. The new councillors are going to need you at some stage. They're going to rely upon you for a bit of support. There will be times when they feel frustrated and they want someone to talk to who's not on council. There will be times when they need to juggle their responsibilities and they might be looking to you. It might just be someone who checks in on them from time to time to see if they're doing okay. So families and friends also have important roles to play, because if people are feeling like this role is overwhelming, and sometimes it can feel like that, it is great to know that you have family and friends who will support you to continue doing the good work that you'll do as councillors. The town also has an amazing group of staff. They are knowledgeable and experienced and enthusiastic and dedicated to this community. They often get a bad rap, as sometimes do all elected members, for the work they do. We can't all make perfect decisions, but they work hard, they think outside boxes, they do their utmost to make sure that the community gets the good modern services and infrastructure that it needs. And so it is important that we respect the role that they play, because they are specialist technical advisors. Each of us is not one of those. We may have those experiences in our working life, we may have them in our prior experiences, but when we come into this chamber, we are not that person. We are a decision maker, we're a governing body, and we take the advice of the staff. We can ask questions and interrogate that advice to find out more information to make certain we're going to be able to make the right decisions. But it is important to know that the cohort that make up the staff of the town of Victoria Park, even though you will never meet all of them because there are hundreds of them, and only a select few come to our council meetings and write reports, many of them will have had a hand in not only writing the reports but delivering the activities and the programs and the infrastructure that we want to have for our community. So it is important that we treat them with the greatest of respect and acknowledge that they bring a lot to the table, and they too will learn things from us, both collectively and individually. So I know when I started on council there was a lot of talk about team work, and I actually think realistically for council and administration we're not actually a team, we're a partnership. Because as councillors, we've all got one vote around this table. We've got work to do and we need to do that collectively in partnership with each other, but we also partner with the town in delivering those good decisions. So yes, some people will continue to consider we need to work as a team. We do need to work collectively, and that's why I like the partnership model, because partners treat each other as equals. And that's my hope, is that around the council table we're all equal and we'll all have a say in what it is that goes on in our council going forward. So I do warmly welcome you. I'm excited to be able to work with you. I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to finding out more about our 3 newest elected members, and obviously also more about Councillor Miles, who's been re-elected. But this is a momentous occasion in our council's history, and very shortly your names will go on the honour boards behind us for all time as elected members of the town of Victoria Park. So welcome, and I hope the next 4 years are a fabulous time for you and for us all. So thank you. And now it's time to get to the function.